It's Joe from ExtremeTerrain, and in this video we're going over the AFE MACH Force XP 3-inch single exhaust system with a black tip and side exit, fitting all 16 and newer 3.5 liter Tacomas. Now this kit is going to be perfect for any Tacoma owner that's looking for a high quality USA made stainless exhaust system that's going to feature a straight through muffler, blackout tip, large diameter piping, and factory exit position. Now, as you guys just heard, this kit is certainly an improvement over stock as far as tone goes. Not the loudest kit in the world, not the quietest kit in the world either, and I really like the tone that comes with this one. It's got that relatively deep tone, no drone when you're off throttle, however, just a tiny bit in the mid-range. For that, I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5 on our Wake the Neighbor scale. Definitely enough to know that it's an upgrade. However, if you're still looking to daily drive your Tacoma, this is definitely a great option. This kit is made mostly out of 3-inch diameter MIG-welded 409 stainless steel tubing that's also mandrel-bent. Now, there's a lot going on there. Let's break it down step by step. 3-inch diameter tubing, that is a huge upgrade over stock when it comes to flow. Out of the factory, this came with 2.5-inch diameter tubing. We're gonna get this side by side next to the factory exhaust in just a minute here for you guys and really dive into the differences, and we'll go over all of that then. This kit is also packing 409 grade stainless steel, which is a really solid mid-grade stainless option. In fact, it's the same quality stainless that comes on the Tacoma right out of the factory. You can expect a little bit of surface rust, a little bit of heat discoloration, but structurally, this is going to hold up way longer than your truck is gonna last. Last but not least, we have mandrel-bent tubing, and what that means is throughout the length of any bends, this is gonna remain nice and smooth, allowing your exhaust gases to escape your truck as fast as possible, and that's exactly what you want out of any exhaust system. Over top of that though, we do have a nice solid black powder coating, which is gonna be a nice second layer protection. It's also gonna perfectly match any blackout look. We have the AFE plaque on the side, and this thing is pretty big as well as far as diameter goes, 4.5 inches, which again, really adds to that aggressive style for the rear of your Tacoma. Now with this kit, you do have a couple of options. If you're not a fan of the blackout tip, of course, this is available with a polished tip as well. If chrome is more your style, you can pick up that one. Also, as far as pricing goes in their range, this is gonna be in the middle. AFE has a turn down, that's gonna use less material overall. That's gonna be a little bit more budget friendly. Their Rebel series is gonna feature a dual tip exhaust, and that is gonna be a little bit more on the upscale side. That's gonna cost you a little bit more. Pricing for this kit gonna fall right around that $675 range, which makes it not the most expensive exhaust kit out there, not the most budget friendly either. It's right where I'd expect it to be considering what materials are used, the sound quality that this thing is packing, and also it's designed, built, and tested right here in the USA. Before we move on to the install, one thing I do want to make a quick note on, no matter what cabin bed length setup you have on your truck, this kit includes an extra extension pipe, so if you do have that long bed, you can throw that in, you get an extra clamp as well, you'll be good to go, no need to run to the saw, you won't be cutting up pipes, measuring, nothing like that with this kit, which makes the install just that much easier. I'm gonna give it an easy 2 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. Should take you at most 2 hours if you come with the right tools. So without any further ado, let me show you what tools you'll need and how it's done. Tools I used for this install will include an impact, exhaust hanger removal tool, pry bar, 15 and 14 millimeter sockets, and last but not least, some spray lubricant, PB Blaster, WD-40, both of those will work. All right, so underneath of our Tacoma, the first tool we're gonna need, impact gun and a 14 millimeter socket. We're gonna remove these 2 bolts on our flange here. Just a word of caution, it might be a little bit tight. Ours have been removed plenty of times so they come right out. Yours probably aren't gonna act the same way. A good healthy dose of rust penetrant there, maybe even a little bit of fire, a little bit of heat to loosen those up, and then you can get them out of the way. So now the only thing holding up our exhaust are the rubber hangers. What we're gonna do is a little bit of clever work with the pry bar here. Just gonna stick that in that cross member, and if you pry back, that'll pop right off. And we can actually leave that on the one on the truck because obviously we're gonna reuse these later. There's 3 more of those hangers. We're gonna get them all removed, and then this exhaust will come right off. Now, if you do have one of these, all the better. This is an exhaust hanger removal tool. This makes these really easy. And the very last one is going to be right by your spare tire. Now that hanger is going to be the last one. You want to make sure your exhaust is supported, and then if you have enough height underneath your truck, you can pull it out in one big piece. If not, you might have to make a cut or two. So now that we have our factory exhaust removed from our Tacoma, I figured now would be the perfect time to sit it next to our AFE kit and point out some differences between these two. But first, let's start off with some similarities. Stainless grade. These are both going to be 409 stainless steel for the majority of this kit. AFE and factory, they're both going to hold up basically the same, which in my opinion is a good thing. 409 stainless steel, really high quality stuff, but the tips get even better. They're going to be 304 stainless, which is just that next step up. With the 409, you see a little bit of surface discoloration from heat, tiny bit of surface rust. 304 will never do that. It'll hold up perfectly fine throughout the entire life of that exhaust system. Now there are some big differences between these two kits. We're going to start at the flange and work backward. Piping diameter is going to be the first thing you're going to notice. Factory is 2.5 inches. Our new AFE kit is going to be 3 inches. That's going to help with flow. Also, our new AFE muffler is really trimmed down when compared to this factory muffler here. This thing has a lot of baffling in it, not so much on the AFE. That's where most of our sound is going to be coming from. All the hangers are in the factory location, so this is going to hold up just fine. After the muffler, we get some more piping. Again, we have the 3-inch diameter, which is a jump in sizing. And then same thing goes for the tips. Factory, we have a 3.5-inch tip. Our new AFE kit, that's going to feature a 4.5-inch tip, and it's got that awesome black powder coating with the AFE logo on the side, which is a nice touch. So now we're going to go ahead and start building up our new AFE exhaust on our Tacoma. We're going to start with the inlet pipe with the flange on it at the front. You'll also notice down there we have an extension pipe. If you have a long bed truck, you can go ahead and throw that in place as well. That's going to go in place on our factory piping. You want to make sure this donut gasket is still there when you go to install this, otherwise your exhaust isn't going to seal. And also that bend is going to open toward the inside of the truck. And we're going to get our factory hardware on there. I'm just going to snug it up for now. We'll probably need to make adjustments to that later on. After that, we can go ahead and throw a clamp on the back of that pipe and follow up with our muffler. Then we can throw a clamp over the back of our muffler, which I already did, and get started on our over axle pipe. That's going to be the same process. Last but certainly not least, we have our exhaust tip, and that is going to slide on just like so, and the clamp is already on there. At this point, the exhaust is installed just loose. You can make any adjustments as needed at this point, up or down, in and out on the tip, stuff like that, and then we can run through and tighten down all the clamps with a 15mm socket. Last but not least, we have our flange. We're going to hop back to the 14mm socket, but in order to get around this bend, make sure it's a short one or you have a U-joint on hand to do so. That's going to do it for my review and install of the AFE MACH Force XP 3-inch single exhaust system with a black tip and side exit, fitting all 16 and newer 3.5-liter Tacomas. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain for all things Tacoma.